Welcome back to a new episode of Lost Empires. Ancient Egypt, a land of majestic pyramids and powerful pharaohs, Egyptians believed in many gods. These gods were a part of their lives. The Egyptian civilization emerged around 3100 BC. They settled along the Nile River. The Nile's floods were vital for their survival. Egyptians were deeply spiritual. They believed in the afterlife. They developed elaborate rituals and beliefs. Their gods were powerful beings. These gods controlled nature and human destiny. The Egyptian religion was deeply connected to nature. The vast and mysterious landscape of Egypt, with its deserts and fertile lands, played a crucial role in shaping their spiritual beliefs. The natural world was not just a backdrop for their lives, but a living, breathing entity that influenced every aspect of their existence. The Nile River was central to their beliefs. This mighty river, stretching over 4,000 miles, was the lifeblood of Egypt. It provided water for drinking, irrigation for crops, and a means of transportation. The annual flooding of the Nile, known as the inundation, was seen as a divine gift that brought fertility to the land. They saw it as a source of life. The fertile banks of the Nile allowed agriculture to flourish, supporting the growth of crops like wheat and barley. This abundance of food was essential for the survival and prosperity of the Egyptian civilization. The river's predictable flooding patterns were seen as a sign of the gods' favor. The sun, with its life-giving warmth, was another important element. The Egyptians worshipped the sun god Ra, who was believed to travel across the sky each day in a solar boat. The daily journey of the sun symbolized the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It represented power and rebirth. The sun's rising and setting were seen as a metaphor for the eternal cycle of life. The Egyptians believed that just as the sun was reborn each morning, so too could humans achieve rebirth in the afterlife. Egyptians observed the cycles of nature. The changing seasons, the flooding of the Nile, and the movement of celestial bodies all played a role in their religious practices. They believed that understanding these natural cycles was key to maintaining harmony and balance in their lives. These cycles influenced their understanding of life and death. The Egyptians believed in an afterlife where the soul would continue to exist. This belief was reflected in their elaborate burial practices and the construction of grand tombs and pyramids to house the deceased. They believed in the cyclical nature of time. Time was not seen as a linear progression, but as a series of repeating cycles. This concept was represented in their art, literature, and religious rituals. Gods embodied these natural forces. The pantheon of Egyptian gods and goddesses represented various aspects of the natural world. Ra, the sun god, Osiris, the god of the afterlife, and Isis, the goddess of fertility, were just a few of the deities that played a central role in Egyptian religion. Egyptians sought to understand these forces through their deities. Priests and worshippers performed rituals and offered prayers to gain favor with the gods and ensure the continued prosperity of their land. These religious practices were an integral part of daily life in ancient Egypt. This understanding shaped their worldview. The interconnectedness of nature, the gods, and human life created a rich tapestry of beliefs that influenced every aspect of Egyptian society. From the grand temples to the humble homes, the presence of the divine was felt everywhere, guiding the Egyptians in their quest for harmony and balance in the world. Egyptians had several creation myths. These varied across different cities. One common thread was the primordial chaos, Nun. Nun was an endless, watery abyss. Out of this chaos, the creator god emerged. In some versions, it was Atum. Atum was self-created. He stood on a mound of earth that rose from the waters. He then created the other gods. These gods played crucial roles in shaping the world. They brought order to the universe. Among the many Egyptian gods, some were particularly important. Ra was the sun god. He was the supreme deity. Osiris was the god of the underworld and rebirth. He represented life after death. Anubis was the god of mummification. He helped souls navigate the afterlife. These gods, along with others, formed a complex pantheon. Each god had specific roles and responsibilities. They interacted with each other and humans. Section 5. Living with gods, the influence of deities on Egyptian society. The ancient Egyptians lived in a world where the divine was ever present. Their gods and goddesses were not just distant celestial beings, but were deeply woven into the fabric of their everyday lives. Egyptian gods were not distant figures. They were believed to inhabit the temples and sacred spaces, making their presence felt in the daily activities of the people. From dawn till dusk, the influence of these deities was palpable. They were an integral part of daily life. Whether it was a farmer tilling his fields, a merchant trading goods, or a craftsman at work, the gods were invoked for blessings and protection. Their presence was a constant reminder of the divine order that governed the universe. People prayed to them for guidance. In times of trouble or uncertainty, they sought the wisdom and intervention of the gods. Temples were bustling centers of activity where priests performed rituals and offered prayers on behalf of the community. They offered them gifts and sacrifices. These offerings ranged from simple food items to elaborate ceremonies involving animal sacrifices. Such acts were believed to appease the gods and ensure their favor. Gods influenced every aspect of Egyptian society. Their influence extended beyond the spiritual realm into the social and political spheres. Festivals and public ceremonies were held in their honor, reinforcing their central role in the community. They played a role in agriculture. The success of the harvest was attributed to the benevolence of gods like Osiris and Isis. Farmers would offer prayers and rituals to ensure a bountiful yield, believing that the gods controlled the forces of nature. They were also present in warfare and governance. Pharaohs, considered divine themselves, led their armies with the belief that gods like Horus and Sekhmet were guiding them. Victories in battle were seen as signs of divine favor, while defeats prompted introspection and renewed devotion. Egyptians believed that maintaining harmony with the gods was crucial. This concept, known as Ma'at, represented truth, balance, and cosmic order. Upholding Ma'at was essential for the well-being of the individual and the state, and it was the duty of every Egyptian to live in accordance with these principles. This belief permeated their art, literature, and social structure. The gods were depicted in countless forms, from grand statues to intricate hieroglyphics. Stories of their deeds and teachings were passed down through generations, shaping the cultural and moral fabric of Egyptian society. The influence of deities on Egyptian life was profound and enduring, leaving a legacy that continues to fascinate and inspire. Section 6. Temples, the sacred abodes of the gods. In ancient Egypt, temples were not just buildings, they were the very heart of the civilization, embodying the divine presence on earth. Temples were the homes of the gods. These magnificent structures were designed to be the earthly residences of the deities, where they could be worshipped and honored by the people. They were grand structures, adorned with intricate carvings and paintings. Every wall, every column, and every surface was covered with detailed hieroglyphics and vibrant paintings that told stories of gods, kings, and the cosmos. Priests performed daily rituals, ensuring that the gods were pleased and that the balance of Ma'at, the concept of truth, balance, and order, was maintained. They made offerings to the gods. These offerings included food, drink, and precious items, all presented with great ceremony. The rituals were elaborate, involving chants, music, and precise movements, all aimed at honoring the gods and seeking their favor. Temples were not only places of worship, they were bustling centers of community life, where people gathered for festivals, celebrations, and important events. The temple courtyards were often filled with the sounds of music, laughter, and the chatter of people. They were also centers of learning. Temples housed schools where young scribes and scholars were trained in the arts of writing, mathematics, and astronomy. These institutions were crucial for the education of the elite and the preservation of knowledge. They housed vast libraries and schools. The temple libraries were filled with scrolls and papyrus documents containing texts on religion, science, medicine, and literature. Scholars would spend years studying these texts, contributing to the rich intellectual tradition of ancient Egypt. Temples played a vital role in preserving knowledge. The priests and scribes meticulously documented religious rituals, astronomical observations, and medical practices, ensuring that this knowledge was passed down through generations. They were essential to the religious and intellectual life of ancient Egypt. The temples were not just places of worship, but were the very heart of the community, serving as centers of learning, culture, and social life. They were the sacred abodes of the gods and the lifeblood of ancient Egyptian civilization. Section 7. Pharaohs, the divine rulers of Egypt. Pharaohs were not just kings, they were considered divine. They were seen as intermediaries between the gods and humans. They held absolute power. Their rule was legitimized by their divine lineage. Pharaohs were responsible for maintaining order. They ensured the prosperity of Egypt. Their authority was intertwined with religious beliefs. Section 8. Beyond the sands of time, the enduring legacy of Egyptian gods. The reign of the pharaohs eventually ended. However, the legacy of the Egyptian gods lived on. Their stories have fascinated people for centuries. Their images adorn museums worldwide. These gods offer insights into a complex and sophisticated civilization. They tell us about their beliefs, values, and worldview. Egyptian mythology continues to inspire artists, writers, and filmmakers. Section 9. Conclusion. The everlasting allure of ancient Egypt. The Egyptian gods, despite their ancient origins, still resonate with us today. Their stories capture the imagination. They offer a glimpse into a world where humans and gods coexisted. The Egyptian pantheon, with its complex characters and narratives, continues to fascinate and intrigue. Their enduring legacy is a testament to the power of belief and the enduring allure of ancient Egypt. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Let us know in the comments below what topic you want to hear about next.